What do we get out of this, folks? Anything?
I need to practice.
All the things. Yes, okay. So first, the big picture, yes, you understand you need to practice. I don't think that's going to shock anybody. Yeah, you got to practice. What I'd like, think about it like this. You shot a couple of days, me watching like, hey, try this, do this, whatever. And probably some habits got exposed to you. So it was kind of like I said, if you were shooting really well, you know, nice and tidy, it didn't really matter how good you are. It's just if you're shooting well for you, I'd be like, cool, looks good. It'd be like, that's good. If you keep doing it, it's like, all right, start going faster. And then you go faster, you start to see what's going on. All of you, I would say, have consistent habits. Like this is normal. Like I try to go faster and my firing hand does this. I try to go faster and then I stare at the dot and just push it around and my hits get imprecise. I try to run faster, move, and then I'm not stopping fluidly, you know. I stop all fucked up like that, whatever. You all saw this, what I'm talking about. What I recommend is you make a list of those things tonight. Like whatever those like 3, 4, 5, 6 habits that you have when you get pushed, the things that you do, right? Whatever they are. And then you can get rid of those habits. Now, the way that I think about training, especially for most people, they cannot go shoot every day. That's not a thing they can do. So the real training is dry fire. Now, your training should be frequent, but it doesn't need to be a long duration. And what I mean by that is about half the value you get out of practice every day is the thought process. Like when you're spinning up your practice, like for me, I have like a belt. It's like when I'm putting my belt on for dry fire, I'm thinking, what am I trying to do? And it's like you think back and you go, oh, I was having a problem doing this. Like I want to change the position of my gun when I reload. Or, oh, I want to, get my thumb more to do this, whatever. It's like, this is the thing that I want. And while I'm thinking about that, I'm recalling, experiences like this where I was shooting and it's like, yeah, I should change that habit. That's half the value you get out of your practice is just thinking about what you're even trying to accomplish. And then the other half is doing a few repetitions, of whatever exercise. Now, for the exercises we did, was there a dry fire component for them? Yeah. All of them, right? Everybody agrees. Like if you dry fired it really like aggressively and like trying to grip the gun right, or we're working on trigger control, you're aggressively dry firing, pressing the trigger back, you're going to see the same thing that's happening with live fire. So that's the other key is think about what habit you're trying to change and then work on it in a way that actually simulates the problem. So for example, if you're the type that is staring at the dot when you transition around like this, you can see my head and the gun are connected, all right? A lot of times people realize they're doing that, like they know. And what I see them do in dry fire is like this. They're like, it's like, oh, I'm trying to get my eyes out in front of the gun. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, what's the problem with that I was just doing? Yeah, it's like you're watching like, that's not real. That's not real speed. All right, so this is the problem that people have when you're training by yourself at home, is people don't like the way it feels. They don't like getting uncomfortable where they're doing it wrong. But I'm telling you, you got to lean into it and do it. If I need to work on getting my eyes in front of the gun, look. What speed is this? This is the speed that my eyes work. I'm going at the pace of my vision. If I'm working on movement, how fast do I move? Well, as fast as my legs go. And I'm learning to control myself at that speed. If I'm working on shooting really fast, how fast do I want to go? As fast as my finger works. And if you think about it in really simple terms like that, it's a lot easier to improve, where you just force yourself to do it it's as fast as my eyes work. That's the pace it's got to be. I'm not going to artificially slow it down to make it feel better right now. Instead, I'm going to actually try to fix the problem. So I would write down those habits that you have, and then I'd work on each one in turn for 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. Now let's say I want to change my grip. This will be most of you, right? I've got too much pressure on my dominant hand. My support hand's not doing anything. Okay, so working on that for 3 minutes looks like this. Look at my spot, draw the gun aggressively, conscious check. Is my pressure what I want? Yes, no. Okay. Again, do it again. Check. Pressure, is that what I want? Yes or no? And you go through this. No. I like that one. Okay, is 3 minutes of that a lot? Yeah, 3 minutes of that doesn't sound like much, but that's a lot. If your brain's actually on it and you're sticking with it, and then you do that for a little bit, flip to the next thing. Like, oh, I want to work on transitions. Just do that for 3 minutes. Like, if you do it like this, your practice, it's very rude that they're shooting at the shooting range. If you do it like this, you can change habits in a couple of weeks. Unless you gave yourself some weird ones with a lot of training, then it takes longer. You know how that goes. Yeah. And then while you're doing that, I would consider live fire practice to be the test of your dry fire. So the drills that are set up here, like they're simple drills, easy to set up. And as soon as you were shooting it comfortably, I was like, hey, go faster, right? And the idea was we wanted to see where stuff broke down, and you'd take that back with you to your dry fire. So think of training as like a loop like that. Dry fire a lot, try to change the habits. Live fire to test, see what's happening. Notice I wasn't really super judgmental about your shooting. It's like I wanted it to be good, but it wasn't like it was a horrible thing when your shooting was bad. It was mostly about understanding what is going on, right? It wasn't about criticizing, it was about analyzing. And then you analyze the habits, the things that are happening, and that feeds into your training. So that's the best advice I can give you is like make a list of the habits you want to change, work at each one like 3 to 5 minutes, 4 or 5 nights a week, something like that. It doesn't take much time. And then when you come out and you shoot again, you see those habits start to change. Does that make sense to everyone? Does anybody have any questions about anything we did? Yes, sir.
Just on the dry fire practice you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you've got like 4 things you want to work on, you would do 5 minutes on each of those in the same training session.
Yeah, so it'd be like a 20-minute deal. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, just like whatever it was, just like each thing. And each thing you work on, here's another, I should have mentioned this. It's not about the drill, it's about what your brain is doing. Okay, so think if my brain is focused on keep correct dominant hand tension on the gun, it doesn't really matter what the drill is that I'm doing. There are some drills are better than others. Like let's say I'm working at a 3 or 5 yard shooting drill where the shooting's gonna come really quick. That's gonna tense me up, right? But aside from that type of thing, it doesn't matter so much what the drill is, it matters what my brain is doing. Like my conscious mind's on the hand to keep it doing the thing I want it to do. I'm focused on that thing, all right? What do I focus on if I go shoot a match or shoot a more complex type of drill? Yeah, you're it's not shooting. You're focused on memorize all this stuff, okay, go there, shoot that, go there. Like, you don't have headspace for this. Yeah, it's execution based. It's like you don't have headspace for changing of your technique. But when you're practicing, you're not focused on the execution so much. You're just shooting drills or whatever, and you're focused on changing habits, whatever those are. Okay? So I break it out that way, and like make your training very, very process focused, where you're just trying to get your habits to change, and then everything else you'll find it falls into place. All right. Well, that was good. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, can we pick up the range as we did last night for Nicole so she doesn't get in trouble? All right.